Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And streaming on YouTube.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, this is the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, no Corey Tackman today. He's out with the Christmas blues, and we have Zeke pulled in here today.
I should have put a hat on. Good grief.
It's all right. You're showing off the old radio headphone hair. You know,
it's a work from home day. That's for sure. Good grief.
You're in that post Christmas kind of malaise, if you will.
Yeah.
So
wow.
You get what you want for Christmas this year?
I could sure use some dry shampoo right now. I didn't put that on my list.
Head and Shoulders is on the list for next year.
Yeah. No, I got a sweet. I like to cook a lot, and my wife got me this journal. It's a waterproof cooking journal. We can write all your recipes in it because all my recipes are stained with barbecue sauce and shrimp boil juices, and so it wipes off. It's awesome. I'm gonna fill that sucker with some tasty things to make you guys.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's recap. It's been like a week since we last talked, and obviously no AD interview this week, just with everybody on break. We'll pick that up in 2026. But I just thought, first of all, Zeke, let's go through some local sports headlines just to kind of catch back up on some things that have been happening. Of course, there's section hockey reports and game recaps and things that you can check out when you follow Sports Cow on Facebook, but you can also see things like this where we get updates on college commitments and things like that. And how about this from Sebeka Public Schools yesterday? They put this out on their, or not yesterday, last week, I should say. They put this out on their Facebook page talking about that Parker Kaiser has signed his official letter of intent to continue his athletic and academic career at Alec Tech.
Nice.
And you see there, it doesn't say what sport, but I'm going to assume based on the Trojan baseball sweater and the Legends baseball sweater and things like that, and the fact that the Kaiser name is pretty good at baseball. Don't know if you guys listening know that. He's going to be playing baseball over at Alec Tech, which is really, really cool, and going to continue that. So I know, Zeke, you had a bit of Sebeka baseball last year, and certainly that they've been proud of their teams the last few years, and obviously Kaiser a big reason why.
Yeah, I've got Sebeka on one of my top moments of the year. They're not going to like it, but it's going to be one of my top moments of the year. But yeah, that program's been humming for a long time.
And also looking at some of the other commitment news that we got to share. If you go over to Parkers Prairie, it was a big deal in terms of volleyball commitments because they announced last Monday that Alyssa Revering has accepted an athletic scholarship and signed her letter of intent with North Dakota State College of Science to play volleyball, and she'll be pursuing a degree in dental hygiene. So cool for her that she gets to go to NDSCS. I believe that's the acronym, right? North Dakota School of something like that. You know Science. What I mean? It's there we go. It's an acronym. It's a school. It's in Wahpeton. They take care of you. Yeah, that's all you pretty much need. So congrats to Revering there, and congrats to Alyssa on a great volleyball season. Best volleyball season for Parkers Prairie in like 15 years, capped off and getting to the section championship game. And she was a big reason why. So congratulations to her on that next step in her career. So congratulations to her. Zeke, we are going to draft our top moments of 2025 in the local high school sports scene.
Okay.
Before we do that, we got to give a shout out to the good folks at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Zeke, only a few more days left in 2025, which is your opportunity to do something special. The Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena has a great promotion going on now through December 31st. This is your last chance. You can double your impact with every gift card purchase through December 31st. If you buy a Pizza Ranch gift card now through the end of this year, the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena will donate $1 to the USO, and which is an organization who serves America's heroes for 80 plus years. And with your help, they're committed to giving out at least $50,000 up to $100,000 this holiday end of year season. Again, buy a gift card at Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. $1 gets donated to USO. Maybe you got somebody, you didn't get somebody a Christmas gift and you're a little late. Maybe you need to get early birthday gifts, New Year's gifts. I don't know what you got going on. Maybe your Christmas is later than normal. A great last minute, late stocking stuffer. And just getting a gift card to the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade is a great way to start 2026. So, of course, you get there, you check out the chicken, the mashed potatoes, the pizza, salad bar, all that great stuff. The FunZone Arcade, a great spot to bring the kids during winter break. They can get some great food, blow off some steam, win some prizes at the FunZone Arcade. It's all there. The Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Go check them out. Zeke, you plan on making trips to the FunZone Arcade over Christmas break?
Always.
It's great. The 1.5-year-old every time it doesn't even play the games. He just sees the lights and the colors and he's in.
Exactly.
And it's the best part because he doesn't ask for any money. So
take advantage of that while you can.
Exactly.
Because when he turns 10, like mine, that's all he wants to do is, we're going to go get pizza. I don't want pizza. I just want to play games.
And to be fair, he saw those prizes on the wall. He wants to win them.
Yep.
He's got to earn it.
He's got to earn that mystery jersey.
He does. All right, Zeke, we're going to draft our top moments of 2025. Before we start, again, Corey Tackman out sick today, so he wasn't here for the recording of this podcast, but he did submit his top moment, number 1, on a bullet, no competitors, for his 2025 season in local high school sports. And it's one you got to share with him, which was covering Monaga Special Olympics unified basketball in the state tournament at the Target Center last March. That was a really cool moment. We were the first ever radio broadcast for the Minnesota Unified State Basketball Tournament. They told us. The organization said we've never had a radio station show up to broadcast this game. And honestly, Zeke, we might be the only one in the country.
Yeah, it would do some research, but my guess is that would ring true, especially with some of the programs. I mean, Monaga was down there. That's who we were covering specifically, but Bemidji was there last year. Pillager was there last year. So there was a lot of unified basketball and a very different atmosphere for basketball, because you walked in that building and you just felt the overwhelming positivity. And that's the big thing that I took away from this, is I wasn't sure to expect. I've never been to a state unified basketball tournament, let alone a unified basketball game. And just the positivity and pats on the back from player to player and fans having great times together. It was an awesome day celebrating those athletes and celebrating the sport of basketball. Yeah,
it was really, really cool. It was just great. I was organizing it. You guys went down into the game. Corey will never admit this. It was his idea. He really pounded the table to do this. Like, he pointed it out and saw it. He's like, we should do this. And we all were on board with, yeah, we totally should. So it was a really cool moment, and it was just really, it's really cool. Selfishly for us to get to go down there, but just for those kids, man, we were talking with them. I remember we talked with Coach Hahn, who leads that group. We also talked with the kids. We did a little kind of chat with them leading up to that game, and they were just so excited about to do this and have this opportunity. And like you said, other schools were down there in the area as well. It was just a really, really fun, positive celebration of basketball that was really awesome to take in to throughout 2025. So that was awesome. Zeke, let's kind of go in, let's ping pong back and forth here in corresponding order. Let's start with you in no particular order or particular order. I don't care. You can structure this however you want. What was a top sports moment in 2025 for you?
I think one of the top moments for me was one of the most highly anticipated football games in the state of Minnesota this past season. It was, I think it was a late September game. It was two teams tied for the number 2 spot ranking wise in the state. Pillager Huskies at Staples Motley Cardinals, two very bitter rivals, two teams that was their prep bowl, was going at each other in that game, and Pillager coming out on top. Came down to the last play of the game. Pillager won that one. I think it was 24. I just had it pulled up on my phone here. Very, very close game. Like I said, Pillager forced a turnover on the last play of the game. Cardinals had it 4th and manageable, trying to get the equalizer, and Pillager won it 24-30. Yeah, so that was It was a great game. I mean, it was a packed house in Staples Motley for that one. There was TV coverage. There was 2 radio stations plus a streaming service up there in that tight press box. I remember very emotional game. There was at one point where a call did not go Pillager's way, and one of the Pillager coaches started pounding on a table, and the whole press box felt like it was gonna fall over. They had standing room only. They had blankets around the field, pitting still
just for the game.
They had special bleachers shipped in for this game because probably the highest ever attended, I would guess the highest ever attended football game in Staples Motley Cardinal history, if not, in recent memory, then and forever. And then the win vaults Pillager up to get the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Things didn't exactly pan out in the playoffs like we thought they would for either the Huskies or the Cardinals. I remember after the game, radio station from the Brainerd Lakes area was there, and they have a special Huskies Player of the Game T-shirt that they give out. And I said to the guy, hey, if you give me one of these awesome Pillager Huskies T-shirts, Player of the Game T-shirts, when we meet at the Fargo Dome in November, I'll give you a Superstation K106 T-shirt. And long story short is I still owe Devin a Superstation K106 T-shirt because the Cardinals got beat by Holdingford in the semis, and then Pillager got upset by Osakis. So I still owe Devin a T-shirt. Sorry, Devin.
Maybe next year those 2 teams will play in the Fargo Dome, and then you can say I was never wrong, just early.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be something? Yeah, well, the way the schedule shakes out, I think Staples will be at Pillager next year. I've never done a game at Pillager. It's going to be awesome, and I'll hook up with Devin then.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, I mean, that game was awesome, right? Like, again, we talk about the lead up to it, and we remember talking with activities director of Staples Motley in Paige Art and all the work that she had to do. And I remember talking with Tyler and just all the stuff. Like, everybody knew this one was going to be big, and it was. And there was juice. I knew people who weren't affiliated with either school that were like, I'm making a point to go to this game because this is going to be great. And again, it's always hard, especially in high school sports, when you talk about a great game, does it actually live up to the billing? I mean, heck, in the NFL, they scheduled a bunch of games on Christmas, and all these teams are bringing in backup quarterbacks and out of the playoff races and things like that. Sometimes you schedule a game, and does it meet the moment? Does it meet the hype? And like you said, on top of it all, it was a great game. And that was the most important part is all this hype, all this lead up, all this rivalry. And the fact that it met the moment of being a great game was awesome. I remember doing season previews and talking with Pillager and Staples Motley teams. And again, they were courteous and they were respectful about how they went about it. But the main gist to take away was we want to win. We want to win a lot. We have a tough schedules. We treat every opponent, with 100% seriousness. And when all of that was prefaced, people in Pillager went, I really want to beat Staples Motley.
Yeah.
They go, but I really want to beat Staples. And people in Staples go, yeah. But look, we want to make sure we can beat Pillager. Like I mean, and that's how it should be, right? That's teams. And as we learned last year, don't always get to compete for state titles, but you get to compete for regional titles. You get to compete for regional rivalries and supremacy and bragging rights and whatever, adjective you want to put in there. But, it's the thing you learn with college football is if you just focus on making the playoff or state tournament or championships or whatever, you're going to lose a lot of the fun along the way. And in high school sports, it's not always about the playoff runs. It's about games like that. Like you said, that was their state championship. That was their prep bowl for both of these schools. And that was a highlight of their season. And I'm sure it was for Staples, even though they didn't come out on top. It was a great matchup. And it's one that both those communities are not going to forget for a long time. And just really, really special. So yeah, no, that was awesome. That's a great way to start things off. I am going to put for one of my moments here in the top broadcasting moments of 2025. And that was getting to cover Henning boys basketball down at the state tournament. Obviously a really cool experience. My uncle Randy Misegat is head coach of the team. I have a couple cousins that were dressed for that varsity on that varsity roster. And of course, Cale Misegat is having a really, really great consolation championship against, I believe it was Heritage Christian to wrap things up. And I just got to drop a Enfuego reference on the broadcast, which was really, really cool. Throwback to the NBA Jam days. But it was a really fun state tournament. Nevis, obviously, having that Henning-Nevis game was really fun, and the Tigers got a big win to go to the state semifinals for the millionth time in a row. So they, it was a really, really fun state tournament to get to go to Target Center, to get to go to Gangelhoff Center, to get to go to the barn. It was just really fun to get to be a part of that experience, and in a way that, maybe it'll happen this year. I'm not saying it won't, but to at least get that in pocket, getting to cover some cousins and family and stuff like that along the way, was just really, really fun. So it was that was a fun time getting to cover the Hornets on that state tournament run as they took 5th place in Class A last year. What do we got next, Zeke? What's the next thing on your list?
I'm looking through a bunch of things here right now and trying to decide. I think number 2 for me is going to have to be the Frazee Hornets run to the state baseball tournament. I mean, they came in as, I think, 5 seed. They upset 4 seed Walker Hackensack Akeley. They had a 1-0 extra innings win over New York Mills. And then that comeback against Sebeka, where they were down 3-2, top of the 7th, snuck 2 runs across to win 4-3, and all the way to the state tournament, which was a very disappointing state tournament, not just for the Hornets, but for a lot of other teams. I mean, it was the Hornets' first state championship in baseball, or state tournament appearance in baseball since 1999, 25 years. And then the rain kind of put a damper on things. They took on number 1 overall seed Parkers Prairie. Parkers beat them 4-1. That
was a fun game.
It was that was a game that you covered. And then second round was against Legacy Christian, I think, and that game was delayed because of rain. I'm looking through
3 innings in.
It was tied 1-1 after 3 innings. And then looking at different things, I found the baseball game that they were playing with Legacy Christian. They had a baseball, and they made a tic-tac-toe board on the baseball. They would make their move, toss the baseball to the Legacy Christian dugout. They'd make their move and toss it back. It was ways that they found to kind of kill time during the rain delay. And ultimately, the game was canceled, and the tournament run ended there for a lot of teams in the consolation round. They said, no, weather's not going to let up, so we're just going to play to the championship game. If you don't make it to the championship, no third place game, your season's just over. We got to make up some time here. So it was a very, very unjust end to Frazee's baseball season last year, and a lot of other teams across A, 2A, 3A and stuff. But man, when the ride was there for Frazee boys baseball, it was awesome. I was there in Sebeka for that comeback win, one of the best baseball games I've ever seen, and they continued that momentum all the way to the state tournament.
Yeah, man, it was fun. That state quarterfinal game, it was 4-1 Parkers, but for the longest time, Frazee found a way to hang around, keep themselves in the fight, and they definitely gave Parkers Prairie everything they had. And yeah, it's unfortunate that their season had to come to an end like that, and they didn't even get a chance to finish it out, or at least kind of get the games that they hoped they could get. I understand it was raining, and there were conflicts and site availability and umpires, and there's a lot that you have to consider. So I'm maybe oversimplifying this, and I'm not giving the high school league, I'm being too harsh on the high school league, and that's probably true. Mm-hmm. But also, those kids wanted one more opportunity. Those seniors had not just their baseball, but their athletic careers end like that. And
because of rain.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wish that there was some way that you'd have some kind of a backup plan to account for the fact that it could rain in June in Minnesota. Like I know that there's probably logistical issues. I'm sure there's other stuff. But you know what? Couldn't Frazee and Legacy Christian just decide to go play somewhere? Couldn't they go find a ball field somewhere and just go play and make it unofficial or something? I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's one of those where it's like it just stinks for the kids to get that opportunity taken away to finish out their year and to play ball and those communities to go down and support them. But so is life. That's just kind of how it goes. My other top moment stays on the basketball court. It go in 2025, and it goes to covering the Alexandria Cardinals in the state championship game in 3A for boys. Loaded team with when you look at the Witt boys, you look at obviously Chase Thompson, who plays for Clemson now. Really, really great team, and not that they aren't going to be great or don't have good teams or they weren't great before. But this kind of felt like this is it. They're going to go up to 4A, and they did this year. Like, this is our last chance in 3A. We have a chance to play the team that knocked us out in the semifinals last year. Like, this is our, like, it's kind of now or never. We have Chase Thompson, we have the Witt boys, you know, like, and things like that. It really felt like this is our opportunity. And if not now, who knows when it's going to happen again. This is not our last shot, but our last best shot with the kind of core that they were bringing together, and to able to get to the state tournament, get to the barn. You play Byron in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals. You then win your semifinal matchup, and then you get to the championship game versus a Mankato East team that knocked you out a year ago and also beat you earlier in the regular season. And Alexandria came out motivated. They made plays. It was a back and forth game, but they got up early and just kind of asserted that they were never going to go away. And it was just a really fun competitive basketball game. And then at the very end, Alexandria started to pull away and to get their first ever state championship in boys basketball, to get it in that moment. And again, they're competitive. They'll have a good program, you know, through the next few years. I'm not saying that they're going to be bad or anything or not compete in 4A, but it just kind of felt like this was the last hurrah to cap off your 3A era. Because let's be honest, Alexandria is probably not going back down to 3A. Just the demographics of that community, they're going to keep growing. So for them to kind of have one last hurrah in Class 3A is just a really, really cool moment that kind of all got capped off in ways that, you know, would be in a sports movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, kind of the same situation for the girls team, who took third place at state last year with Hadley Toole and Lauren Byer and Macy Lino and Ali Habla, and that team with Wendy Kohler, who just retired from. I
was going to say her last hurrah,
the girls program there, where this was the group to do it, and they finished third last year. So kind of a double whammy in my mind for Alexandria basketball last season.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Zeke, what do we got here? I don't know if this is number one on a bullet for you or if this is just your thoughts, but what's the final great moment of 2025 in our local broadcast calendar that you want to remember?
I think it's got to be a state championship for a wrestling program, a long time coming, and just the way that they dominated all the way through state. And that's going to be the Staples Motley wrestling team. I mean, they took down rival Holdingford in the section championship. And even looking at,
it was the state championship.
It basically was the state championship, yeah, because I think preseason ranking, Staples Motley was 1 in single A. I think Chatfield was 2 and Holdingford 3 or something like that. And of course, Staples Motley and Holdingford going back to football, where they were ranked 1, 2, 1, 3 in the state for a good chunk of it or whatever. Yeah, so they snuck past Holdingford in the section championship, and then just pretty much cruised their way to the state title. Picked up a couple individual champions along the way, and the way things are looking here for the Cardinals early in 2025-26. I mean, they're not missing a beat. They won a tournament over the weekend. I know Bemidji was there. Perham, who's having a really strong season this year, also in 8-2A. Was there, but Staples Motley still beat them by like 50, 70 points or something like that. So Cardinals still continuing to roll. They smashed Holdingford earlier this season. I know things can look a lot different from November wrestling to February wrestling, but man, the way they dominated state last year and then the way they're dominating this year, I mean, it's been a pretty fantastic calendar year for Staples Motley Cardinal wrestling.
Not slowing down anytime soon.
No.
That's for sure. And likely on a collision course again with Holdingford in that section championship game. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Which I don't think will be in Holdingford this year. I think it's at a more neutral site because the section championship game was in Holdingford.
That's right.
Last year, where I think they're going to change it up. I don't remember exactly where it is. I just know it's not in Husker territory this year.
It's not literally in the Huskers' backyard.
Yeah.
Not even in their backyard, in their actual house.
In their actual house, yeah.
Yeah, I want to look at it. Again, I mean, that was so dominating. I mean, they went through, again, a good United North Central team that was in that mix. They were a really nice team last year, and Staples Motley was able to come away with a convincing win. You look at they played Chatfield, which is just kind of a fun relive of the state tournament and things like that. And, Jackson County Central to come away with that win too, to get a little kind of revenge for the state championship and football in the Prep Bowl, is just a really cool kind of like all the notches in the belt, all the gems of the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever you want to say, like for Staples Motley, to all the cherries on top of that run that they could have put on, they did. And now, especially if they're on another collision course with Holdingford, that again would be one, I'm sure, where if you ask them, they'd be like, like this is our opportunity to get a little bit of revenge. So let's see if we can try and do that this year. The Section 7A individual wrestling tournament, Zeke, is going to be in Staples Motley. That is the individual. The team section tournament is going to be in Walker, Hackensack, Akeley.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that is the setup there.
There you go.
So at least that's what it says on the high school league website for wrestling. Maybe I missed something, but that appears to, I believe, they're all in Section 7A. So that should take care of that. So my number one moment, and I know it's not necessarily like happy, but it's just the number one moment, just in the pure spectacle and just in the pure madness of that day. My number one sports moment of 2025 was Class A semifinal baseball, starting in St. Cloud, ending in Alexandria.
I was going to say,
wildest days, the wildest game I've ever called for multiple reasons. But if you remember, like we talked about with Frazee, their consolation semifinal game got rained out. They were playing in Sauk Rapids. We were playing at Joe Faber Field in St. Cloud, and we got, it was 1 inning, 2 innings. There was rain coming. They moved the games up, or they basically, like, from the game where Red Lake County won their matchup, they were like, we're getting right out onto the field. I was talking, with both coaches for Frazee and Parkers Prairie before that matchup, and they were both like, they're expecting us to like get moving as soon as this game is done. And so we get playing there. It's cloudy, but no rain yet. We start to get playing. Rain slowly starts to come down. And all of a sudden, like, teams got to go to the dugouts. There's just puddles. You can't play. And you look at the radar and it's not stopping anytime soon. And what do you do? What do you do? Because the rain is coming. It's in the area. Where do you go? How do you play this game? You're in the 7th inning of this game. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
In a very close game.
And
or tie game at that point.
What do you do? And so I don't know, because maybe they had a contingency plan, maybe whatever. But I think the host reps for the high school league were like, we don't know what to do. How do you handle this? And last minute, Alexandria High School was contacted of like, can you host the game because you're an hour away, hour-ish plus away, and you have a turfed field. So no matter how much it rains, it's at least not going to mud puddle on us, and we can at least get the game done that way. So we pack up all of our stuff and leave St. Cloud in just this wild moment. And Corey's coming from Sauk Rapids because he was covering that game or giving updates from the Frazee game. And we just get in Jeep Whitley, our station car, and drive all the way to Alexandria. And for us, like, we're wet, it's cold because it's raining. You drive an hour, like, you have to kind of re-psych yourself up. And we were just broadcasting the game, and we get into the press box where everybody's trying to finagle their way into Canute Nelson Field in Alexandria. And it was this wild turn of events. And then to cap it all off, Zeke, like you said, it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was an awesome game. Red Lake County came out strong. They had the early lead. Parkers Prairie came back to tie. Nolan Steidel with an RBI knock to tie the game up. I believe it was at 2 late in the game, in the top of the 7th inning, or bottom of the 7th inning rather. And it was huge. I still remember that call because it swung the game, and it was like, this is it. Parkers Prairie tied the game up. They're going to push across the winning run. They're going back to Target Field for the 2nd year in a row. This team has done it. Nolan Steidel, the program leader in career RBIs for Parkers Prairie baseball, which is no small feat. And then the rain came down and we had to move, and we get to that second site. And again, there's just some things about Canute Nelson Field that's very wonky, which are straightaway center field is not very deep, but right to the left field pole is very, very deep for a pole. It's like 368 to the pole, but 314 to straightaway center or something like that. It's very weird. Or something like that. Those dimensions aren't quite right, but you get my point. It's very, very interesting layout. And all I remember is I was sitting in a press box as we restarted that game. Red Lake County was batting, and you're above the first base dugout in a climate control press box, which is awesome. But the one downside is the angle we had looking down the right field line. There's a great diving catch by Basil in foul territory, and I just couldn't see it. I missed it. The only reason I knew he caught it was because the Parkers Prairie crowd started going crazy. And we kind of moved on from there, and we saw the guy go back to the dugout. But then Red Lake County, in extra innings, gets guys on base, and there's an error that ends up happening where Parkers Prairie can't quite get out of the inning. Red Lake County has a opportunity where they have a guy who maybe I don't have this order quite right, but I just remember that there was this big double that was knocked in, or maybe it was a triple. It was a big extra base hit knocked in where Red Lake County gets a runner in scoring position. There's an error by Steidel, who has a little trouble with the turf because, again, they just got there. They had almost no time. They took a brief infield outfield. They were trying to get used to it, but you played all day. You've played all season on grass, and then you have to play on turf. No turf and dirt, just turf. And just a little weird short hop because of turf messed up Steidel just enough to allow a run to score. The error comes in. The run comes in on the error. Parkers Prairie, though, gets runners on base, Zeke, with an opportunity to tie and continue this game. And who else but Nolan Steidel comes in there, already tied up the game earlier, program leader in RBIs, comes in and hits into a double play, and their season's over. And it was just unfortunate because you felt just gut wrench for Parkers Prairie. They did nothing wrong. And, an outside observer could look at it and go, oh man, Parkers Prairie made some miscues in the field. And by letter of the law, they did. Mm-hmm. But you cannot blame them at all for not being 100% prepared to play on a surface. That was out of the stretch. That game was a coin flip of a coin flip, and just one thing going weird was going to be the only way this thing was decided, because those two teams were evenly matched. And for Parkers Prairie, it's the butterfly effect of what if, because that Red Lake County team went on to go win the Class A state baseball title at Target Field on Friday. And if you're Parkers Prairie, you go, man, if that bounce just would have went a different way, if that grounder Steidel hit that was a double play ended up taking a weird hop like it did on the ball he had to field, and Red Lake County couldn't handle it, are we not just in the state championship, but are we holding up a second Class A state baseball title for Parkers Prairie? Just the sheer insanity of that moment. I mean, there were representatives of Alexandria baseball that were like, basically, we're glad that they didn't call us 5 minutes later than when they did, because we were all ready to get out on a boat and go fishing.
Yeah.
We would not have had our phones with us,
mm-hmm.
or not have had our phones handy to be able to get the field prepped and ready and things like that. So it was just a weird day, a day I will never see again in high school baseball. I hope to never see it again, because that's just an awful situation. Nobody's fault, but
yeah,
awful situation to have to go. But that's playing outside and things like that. I get it. But yeah, it was a weird day of baseball. And that's my top moment, just for the sheer insanity of it, because that's a story that, 30 years from now, Zeke, we'll still be reminiscing about.
Yeah, I was on vacation that week, so I wasn't involved in all, but I was listening on the stream in the woods. I was camping in the woods near Park Rapids, and I was like trying to get the stream of you guys and getting updates on the weather, because the weather was fine in Park Rapids. So I didn't understand what all the hubbub was, and you guys said, "Oh, we're packing up and we're leaving," and I'm like, "Okay." And yeah, so see, even as from a fan perspective of just listening and following, I mean, kudos to you and Corey for rolling with the punches and doing what you guys did, because that's one of the, you can do a million baseball games and not have the situation that you two were in that day. So good on you. I do want to show you one thing real quick here.
was going to say the stakes of it as well, with the state, a trip to Target Field on the line and things like that. That's also what hype.
Yeah, you can't get that level of
insane. So
yeah. So I don't collect high school sports memorabilia very often. Just as a broadcaster, it feels weird doing that. I do have a couple pieces in my office here. I've got this. This is one thing I did collect last year. This is the scorecard from the Sebeka versus Frazee game.
Yeah.
And the Frazee guys all signed it for me.
Wow.
Just because that's how awesome of a game that was. So it's, yeah, Adam Vegan, Asher Blaine, Noah McCallson, Carson Krause, Connor Erickson, Andrew Aho, Mason Mickelson, Blake Sonnenberg, Dawson Lyman, Chandler Ulrich, the starting lineup that day. And they all signed my card for me. And I got it framed. It hangs in my office here, right below
what
my.
happened when you approached them about signing that card? Were they like,
They thought it was weird. They thought it was super weird because I went there after the section championship game to do a write-up for Sports Cow and talk to Coach McCallson and a couple other coaches, and I brought my scorecard with, and they were like, no one's ever done this before. Why does he want our autograph? Like, because you guys are big time. You're in the state tournament for the first time in 25 years. Of course I want your autographs on this scorecard.
Come on.
So yeah, it hangs right next to my master's degree diploma from Mizzou. So Frazee guys, you're in my office.
You're just as valuable as a tiger.
Yeah, it hangs right here. If you're watching on the YouTube, that's where it hangs.
Right there.
Yep.
By the way, you don't have it framed, but you do have the score sheet from that classic Parkers Prairie BBE game.
I do. It's on the wall in the studio. Yeah, that championship where there was like 7 home runs hitting Clarissa that day. I have that too.
That is
there. Yeah, I didn't have anyone sign that. That's one of my biggest.
It's not framed, but it might as well be. It's
missed opportunities and just something from that Staples Motley prep bowl team. I don't have anything from those guys either.
I should have grabbed. Didn't we have the pellets from the field? I think Corey had the pellets from the field.
He brought pellets from US Bank Stadium. I've got those in a jar somewhere. Yep. I've got those pellets. And speaking of autographs, we the unified basketball tournament. We have a little mini basketball signed by all the kids that played in that game too, and that's in Corey's office. He holds that very dear to his heart. So
that was very cool.
So it was a couple cool things that when something huge happens, we like to take a memento and recognize how awesome that moment is. And
right.
Yeah. So
those moments are awesome for the kids, and we do it all for the kids, but we selfishly say we don't also enjoy them. If they talk about, like, if anybody ever says like, hey, thanks for doing a game, or, the blah, 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 I just always tell them every time, I'm like, look, man, the kids make the game good. Like, so we do broadcast, and I think we do a good job in our broadcast, but if the kids didn't make it fun to watch and fun to talk about, then
exactly
it wouldn't be fun. So, yeah, exactly. All right. Zeke, we're going to wrap up and do one last thing before we get out of here. We're already running a long show, and I don't want to keep you from finishing up kind of your end of year festivities, but New Year's Eve is not that far away. It's coming up on Wednesday. So why don't we talk about our top New Year's resolutions? We're going to do this together.
Okay.
And we need to come up with a New Year's resolution for each of the 4 pro Minnesota sports teams. Let's first start with the Minnesota Wild. What is your New Year's resolution for the Wild? Because I think you can get a little more granular, but my kind of 30,000-foot view is your New Year's resolution is to get out of the first round.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
All right, there we go.
Yes, we're on the same page here. Win a freaking playoff series. That's your New Year's resolution. Come on, guys.
Points for taking it to a game 6 and losing by a goal.
Minnesota. The one thing I will say, though, is if the Wild don't get out of the first round this year, it's because the NHL's playoff format is stupid, where they take the top 3 teams from each division plus the wild card. So the Wild likely going to play either Dallas, who are the second best team in hockey, or the Avs, who are the best team in hockey, in the first round of the playoffs.
It's dumb.
Gary Bettman, you hoser, knock it off and put things back the way they were.
Who thought this was a good idea? Yeah, I railed against
Gary Bettman did. That's who.
Nobody gets in hockey's way more than hockey.
Yeah, it was made to establish some division rivalries, which it has done, but
the problem is you have the same teams playing in the same, like, everybody plays the same people in the first round every
year. I would much rather play San Jose in the first round than Colorado, thank you very much, as a 3 seed.
Yes.
Overall in the tournament.
That would be much better. The Minnesota Wild, by the way, would lead every division except the Central.
and they're in third place.
They're in third place.
They're like 6 points out of second place. Last I looked. Dang,
Yep.
nabbit.
Darn it. Okay.
Thanks for that.
That one's pretty straightforward. All right. New Year's resolution for the Minnesota Timberwolves. My New Year's resolution, and I think we can agree on this. You could say, oh, the New Year's resolution is get a point guard. Yeah, no, that's true. They should do that. I think they should. New Year's resolution, though, for the Wolves is quit playing down to teams that have their top players out. That's my New Year's
resolution for the last 2 decades.
Yeah, quit doing that. At least they were bad for like 18 of those 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Except for they randomly beat that 73-win Golden State team that one time. That was awesome.
Golden State Warriors, their kryptonite was Draymond Green crotch kicking, and also the Minnesota Timberwolves that year.
Yep.
They won a title. Had they
for whatever reason
not dealt with that. But if they would have played the Minnesota Timberwolves, they would have in the playoff series that year. They, for whatever reason, would have been in trouble. Props to Sam Mitchell coaching his team.
that's right. That was a Sam Mitchell led team.
That was before the Tibbs era.
Ooh.
We thought Mitchell's you can't get us to the next level. Tibbs can though. That was great. Anyway, the point is, I just need the Wolves to stop I need them to stop playing with their food in some of those games, because there's just too many times where you lose to a Memphis team, you barely beat a Milwaukee team, whatever, wins are wins. I don't care how ugly they look if you just win them, but you need every win you can to stay in the top 6 in the Western Conference. Avoid the play-in at all costs.
Yep.
If you avoid the play-in, if you go into the play-in, you're dead. You're just done. You're done. So avoid the play-in at all costs. Get a top 6 seed like they did last year, which set them up on a golden path to get back to the Western Conference Finals. So avoid the play-in at all costs, which means you need to win those gimme games, because the Wolves play well enough when they play the Thunder, but then they'll play a Memphis team that has half their starting lineup and no Ja, and yet they'll lose.
Yeah.
So,
or have to sweat one out against the Milwaukee Bucks team with no Giannis.
Exactly. So
last week,
that's my New Year's resolution: is quit playing with your food. Be healthier. Don't do that. So,
and also get a point guard. I love Bones Highland, but go get a point guard.
Bones Highland, Dante DiVincenzo, those guys are great in rotational kind of non-main point guard roles. Go get you a point guard. So there you go. All right. Minnesota Vikings. There could be some, figure out if you extend your defensive coordinator, maybe that's the play for the New Year's resolution. But I mean, let's not ignore the thing that's staring us right in the face. The New Year's resolution is figure out quarterback. Whether that's bringing somebody in, whether that's coaching up JJ McCarthy and figuring out the footwork, but your New Year's resolution is to find a quarterback or you're fired. Like that's Kevin O'Connell's New Year's resolution. You have to figure out the quarterback position. And as this season comes down to a close, the Vikings are in 7+ win territory, which ends up in the territory of, if you would have hung on in that Bears game, and if you would have maybe, if Carson Wentz could have finished that game against Pittsburgh, and like you figure games here or there where the Vikings could have won, and you're like, all of a sudden this team still could have squeaked in with like a 9-10 win playoff team. It still would have been tough this year, but like, it's that realm of like, you were right there. You were right there, even with how many things went badly, which is a testament to how well they fight and do all that great stuff. But the Vikings quarterback play sunk them out of a playoff spot this year. They had injuries on the offensive line. They had injuries in the defense. They had whatever. But in all reality, the Vikings had 30 of 32 quarterback play this year or worse. And that's why they missed the playoffs. So you got to figure your New Year's resolution for how many years have the Vikings been a franchise? 65 years. All but like the 10 of Fran Tarkenton, the 1 of Brett Favre. Figure out the quarterback position. So
and I think they have their guy. I mean, JJ, you look at the first 3 quarters of that Bears game on opening night, and he just looked lost out there. And then kind of a blessing in disguise, gets hurt against the Falcons. I think Carson comes in and maybe we can play well enough. Maybe we can have another Case Keenum moment here where Carson can kind of tread water here and help us.
And by the way,
maybe he can.
he could have held the ship, but the problem is with Carson Wentz, he just keeps getting hurt.
He got hurt, and so then Carson Wentz had to come out, and then JJ came back, and then JJ got hurt again. Then we had Brosmer time, and that was disappointing. He didn't really live up to Steve Mariucci's 4-touchdown performance against I didn't remember Seattle against
against the best defense in the NFL. Who does he think he is? Phil Rivers?
Ooh, yeah, Phil Rivers. What do the Vikings have to do to get a quarterback like Phil Rivers on this team?
I think they should just go get Phil Rivers.
They probably
the way he just goes to the line and like checks and like diagnoses what's happening. You just don't see that in quarterbacks anymore. It's a dying breed of guys who, and again, he has like 50 years of wisdom, but like a guy who just can go to the line and diagnose and check and make the right reads and, you know, whatever. Like, let me put it to you this way. Tom Brady's looking at his pads and helmet like Bruce Wayne looks at the Batman suit in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking at it as. But anyway,
what's Jeff George doing these days? He's got to be. He's not quite 60 yet. Yeah, Jeff George has got to be ready to come back and play. Speaking of Vikings quarterbacks, who's
Josh Freeman doing these days?
Oh, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not that desperate.
So
not
they
that
have
desperate.
to figure it out. Whether it's and maybe JJ McCarthy is the guy, and they roll with him, and maybe they don't, you know, take a big swing at a Burrow or go trade for Mac Jones or do whatever. Maybe it is just like, you know, maybe they say McCarthy's our guy, but I think McCarthy's proven you need to get a good backup quarterback. McCarthy gets hurt. You need to get a guy who can come in. And Carson Wentz, I think, still has the ability to play at a decent level given the Vikings infrastructure, but he can't stay healthy either. So I wouldn't invest in him for that reason.
Yeah, my biggest what if of this Vikings season is what if they didn't trade who'd they get from Seattle on draft day?
Sam Howell.
Sam
Howell, Carson Wentz went like 2-2 in his games as a quarterback. They go 0-4. They go 0-4, and the Vikings are probably competing for the number 8 overall pick.
Yeah,
they would be bad with Sam Howell. Like,
yeah, that's true.
They
weren't great with Carson. Yeah,
maybe you would have did something different.
I don't know. Either way, ugh.
All right, our New Year's resolution for your favorite team of mine, the Minnesota Twins.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of different things you could say. Hey, how about $30 million more in payroll? How about signing Joe Ryan to a lifetime contract extension? How about keeping Byron Buxton happy? All of this are symptoms of the biggest thing. The Twins' New Year's resolution in 2026: get new owners.
Let's say dump the Pohlads. Yeah, with the kind of the rotating carousel they have there, where Joe Pohlad's not in charge, but it's a different Pohlad in charge now, who has more of a
Joe. It's Tom, and then they got Bill, and
and just it's a circus there, and I forget the name of the one that's in charge now, but he's got more of a business acumen, which doesn't bode well. You don't want a business guy in charge of your baseball team. You want a baseball guy in charge of your baseball team, and it's. Sell the team. That's your New Year's resolution, is sell the team, be done with this, and let's turn the page on the Pohlads. Thank you for 87. Thank you for 91. Carl did that, not the current guys.
Carl also threatened to contract the team, so
that's true.
I hate you guys.
Just be done.
Be done with it. The real reason is we think, I mean, like the gut assumption, right, is that they took it off the market because nobody wanted to buy. There's a lot of uncertainty in baseball, not in the sport itself, but just in some of the financial
salary cap,
TV deals,
potential lockout coming,
potential lockouts. So once the lockout ends, and then in 2028, I think 2029-ish, that area, like the Major League Baseball is going to renegotiate TV contracts because all of the regional sports networks are going to be up. And Major League Baseball kind of wants to package all 30 teams under one umbrella. So like for the highest bidder, which will help, I think. But if they handle it right, and that's trusting baseball to handle it right, which again, nobody gets in baseball's way more than baseball. Right. But overall, the thought is once the new CBA is agreed upon, once a new TV deal is in place, because even the new TV deals with NBC and Fox and ESPN that were just announced this summer are only in effect and like everything is cleared for like 2028 or whatever it is. Like everything is set for that to kind of like it's a completely blank slate and they are starting from scratch. So that is going to happen. And basically it's like once baseball gets through that, or at least gets agreed up, like the lockout's done, new CBA in place, TV, here's how much money they're going to make on TV, which means the franchise valuation will go up higher.
Mm-hmm.
Then they will cash out and sell. They are just kind of bringing on the limited partners to get out of debt. They will just puddle along bare bones for 3 years and then bail again, which is a potential light at the end of the tunnel. Or Zeke, they just decide, nah, we'll just hang on to it and we'll just kind of operate as if we're the Cincinnati Reds and look to your fan base and say, where are you going to go? Which is what the Cincinnati Reds ownership actually told fans.
Sure did.
Great job, guys.
Hmm.
Great job, billionaires trying to relate to normal people. Great job. You guys you're doing great.
This was a fun show.
This was a fun show. It started off fun.
Look what you did.
Look what we did.
You ruined my break. You ruined New Year's for me. My holidays are ruined, CJ.
Look at the bright side, Zeke. There won't be Twins baseball for 3 more months.
I do miss baseball though.
I miss baseball broadly. Yes.
Just not Twins baseball.
Not really.
We'll see how the Dodgers manage to ruin baseball this upcoming
Josh
season.
Bell's coming. The season is saved.
Bing.
Bing. Where's Corey with his bell when
He's got like 5 bells on his desk. Yeah. Freaking guy.
That's bad show prep on us for not grabbing that. All right, Zeke, have a happy new year, and we'll be fast and furious coming into 2026. So get ready for it.
Can't wait.
Morning Sports Desk. See you.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.